Well, greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here, and I hope I'm not making a big mistake, but I'm going to try and multitask. For those of you that don't know, this is Maddie, and I've just had her for about 2 weeks now. Hi Maddie, good girl, get me muddy. And of course, you know Mason. Of course, now Maddie's tied up, so hang on a second. She's just learning how to walk. Come here, on a leash. Wait a minute, Maddie. Let me see. Come on, hold on, I'm sorry guys. This is why you don't see me making videos these days. I got way too much going on. But she was doing great till I turned on the camera. What I wanted to do was try and utilize this time because I'm swamped at home I got her house broken, but I'm teaching her other things like how to stay and blah, blah, blah. And of course, it's raining now, so everything's muddy. But I wanted to take a minute and talk about the election that's coming up here sooner than later. And I'm wondering how many of you have thought about post-election security for your family and for your neighborhood. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but, it's been a long time since I've talked about any kind of prepping. And hang on, somebody's coming. There's somebody always coming. Good Lord, hang on. So it's been a long time since I talked about that kind of prepping. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up was the fact that, and of course this is all my opinion, but no matter who wins the election, and you guys know me, I'm counting on Trump to win, but it's an election, so you never know what's going to happen. Praying that Trump wins, but no matter who wins, there's going to be, in my opinion, some violence in America. No doubt about it. This is harder than I thought because I got to keep looking around for other people's dogs and shit. Maddie is actually kind of aggressive, believe it or not, for only being 6 months old. Or she just turned 7 months 2 days ago. But anyways, I'll just tell you what I've got planned for it. We're going to commit no, I'm just kidding. The way we're prepared is obviously we have guns and we have ammunition, and we've made sure that we have a good food supply and a lot of things like rice. And not that we think that the country's going to go completely foodless, but if things go the worst way, let's just look at the worst case scenario. I mean, I'm anticipating the worst would be if will be when we win the election, because we all know it's the left that is the violent segment of our society. And as much as the liberals would like us to believe otherwise, and they talk about, as Joe Biden put it, the poor boys. They act like there's fucking Nazis walking down every street and that the KKK is running rampant. There's like 2 KKK members left on the entire planet. And they want to have you believe that there's a rally in every fucking neighborhood. But we all know the truth. And the truth is the left is the violent ones with the Antifas and the Black Lives Matter and all of that are bullshit, violent anarchist groups that pose to be anti-fascist and everything else. Well, we saw the meltdown after the first election that they had totally rigged and lost anyway. Now, they haven't stopped melting down since our victory, in spite of their cheating. Can you just imagine what they're going to do this time around? I mean, as far as they're concerned, it's the end of life as they know it. With the politicians, it's the end of their free gravy train of ripping off taxpayer dollars and being able to work government jobs that pay government salaries for their whole life, like the Bidens and the Clintons and the Obamas, and still come away millionaires, which is totally impossible unless you're heavily involved in corruption, which both sides have been involved in. The Bushes, Republicans and Democrats. That's why we voted for Trump, because he was not a politician at the time. And he doesn't play their games, and that's why they hate him more than anything. not just in this country, but around the world, because they were all working in concert with each other, helping each other, scratching each other's back, paying each other off. This is what corrupt governments do. So they're not going to go down easy. No, come on, that's just a little windmill. Come on. She's barking at the windmill. Come on, Maddie. She spent like her first 6 months in a cage, so she's still getting used to being outside. Let go of that. Maddie, let go of that leash. Good boy. Hi, Mason. He's a good boy. But, yeah. Ooh, somebody's burning a fire. Smells good. Fireplace. But if, not everybody has the money, or they're not in a circumstance to where they're able to have weapons and ammunition and a large food supply. Some people are on a very limited income, living in a very small apartment complex, and those are the people I worry about. So if that is what describes you, then you're who I'm talking to. Not having massive ability to protect yourself doesn't mean you can't protect yourself. You just have to use your brain as opposed to other tools. You need to, right now, before the election, right after you watch this video, you need to get with like-minded people, whether they're relatives in other towns. Just remember this. The last place you want to be when there's civil unrest is in a city or in a bad part of town. So if you can arrange now to have an election night party and maybe stay the week or the weekend with Uncle Joe, who lives 50 miles away, or your friend, hang on, I'm going to pass somebody here. Hang on. Okay, back with you. Dog's barking over there. But if you could arrange to stay with them, and, hopefully they're of the same mindset. But even if they're not, there is safety in numbers to a degree. You don't necessarily want to be in a large crowd of people that offer no solutions. But, if you're a single, Maddie, what the fuck, whatever your name is, don't pick that. I'm still getting used to her name. If you're a single mom, you don't want just you and the kids or the child alone without any protection. So you need to get with some friends or relatives that can house you for a while. If that's not convenient, have them come and stay with you if you can work that out. And always, and I always say this, always have a backup plan should the worst happen. No matter where you're at, you may be in some very small, isolated community, but if it starts burning down and there's machine gun fire going on, have an escape route planned and a place to go so that you don't have to think about it during the nightmare. I always say when I talk about preparation that the definition of panic is the brain searching for a solution and not finding one. So, what are you doing? You're not going to roll on that. I know when she's getting ready to roll. No, that's probably fertilizer. Some dogs like to roll on that shit. She's still blown away by the concept of grass too. She's not been on grass before she met me, so she'll lay down sometimes and just enjoy it. And I'm sorry for the way this video is just, I gave my disclaimer at the beginning. It's extremely hard to make a video and to concentrate when you're walking two dogs and one doesn't have any walking discipline. Although she's pretty good, as you can see, all things considered. But the point of this video, please don't think that victory is the end of the problem. And should it get to the point where President Trump has to call for martial law, remember, nobody's against martial law more than me in 99% of the cases of martial law. The one exception in this country for me is when President Trump is the president, because I trust him. And if he calls for martial law, then I'm sure it's for the right reasons. And for those reasons, I think you need to go along with it. Don't freak out and think you're going to get rounded up. But always have a plan B. Like I said, I've got a plan C, a D, an E, and a 5. So you guys, hopefully this is making sense. I probably shouldn't even upload this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and stop now and wish you guys a good rest of the week, and I'll be on as soon as I can get a moment of freedom. You wouldn't believe the amount of trouble trying to break this dog in has been in terms of no time. Oh, by the way, I don't have any vehicle either. My son came out from San Diego, and he is trying to get prepped because he's in California. My other son just bought 10 acres in Texas, so he got out. They're identical twins. But Brent came out. He flew out for a day and a half because he was underprepared, and I basically gave him my four-wheel drive truck with only 32,000 miles on it. Man, did he score. So I gave him my Chevy Silverado, and I gave him a weapon. So as we speak, he's driving all the way back from the East Coast to San Diego. So he'll have an escape vehicle and a way to protect himself. But that left me without a vehicle. So sometime between now and the next week, I've got to figure out how I'm going to get money. I'm probably going to have to go out and sell blowjobs behind 7-Eleven or something. But I'm going to have to buy a vehicle, probably have to buy a used one. This is the first time I've been without my own transportation since I was 20 years old. But you know what? My son needed it, and I'm in a position where I could do that, so I did it. Subsequently, Mason hasn't been to the river. I mean, my wife and kids have cars out here, but nobody wants me to put wet dogs in their cars, So I gotta wait till I buy a truck. Speaking of trucks, if anybody out there is a truck person, I've had 5 Chevys. I was gonna go with a Ford F-150 because I'm tired of Chevy, but I'm actually thinking of the Ram. I've always thought the Dodge Ram was the best looking truck on the market, but I know that years ago they had a shitload of problems with the transmissions. So I've been afraid to get a Ram. But I've been doing some reading, and it looks like they fixed the problems, and I would really love to have myself a nice Dodge Ram 4-wheel drive. So what do you guys think? Any Ram owners out there that are going to tell me to avoid them or tell me it's a good choice? Let me hear from you. In the meantime, I hope this wasn't too scatterbrained and all over the map, but that's my style. In the meantime, you guys stay safe. LMS Tactical, Mason and Maddie, we are out.